All right, guys. So please post on the group that we're about to start our class. This is already 12:30. So we need to be starting our class by 12. Please let's try and be coming on time because this class is also used for other classes. So we always start at 12 and finish 2, maximum 2:30. Be able to spend 2 hours in class. You know? All right, so I first of all congratulate all of you for. Hmm? Okay. WhatsApp is a little bit that's the problem. So I'm gonna send you the link now. So you put on your. I'm gonna send you an email.
The emotional guy in this class.
I gotta know you're the piano.
I came in that evening. I was like, what's going on here?
Don't start again. I was so bad. For real.
Oh, God, I did that private chat for yeah. You see that I'm see this private chat I really need to.
All right, guys. So I sent you an email. I want to do it. Sent you an email, 3 PDFs, and you are doing for what we will be doing today. So, first and foremost, I want to congratulate you for the completing the class on ethical hacking. And I'm not saying that the class for ethical hacking has been completed because we will do more ethical hacking. I can't set up our second lab to do more and more hacking, and they are going to be sophisticated hacking. So what I need you to do is to make sure that you do your assignment and study whatever you are doing. We have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Saturday to study, so, which is a very good time for us to study. Cybersecurity is not something that you learn in class and go home and sleep. It's not possible. You don't go home and sleep. You should be sleeping 4 a.m. in the morning every morning. So you should, after your day activity, you work from maybe like 10, 4 a.m. before you add your sleep. And you don't sleep more than 4 hours, right? So you sleep 4 a.m. you wake up 8, stuff like that. Until you get what you want to get. So please, very importantly, your assignments that I gave to you must be done and completed. Then another thing I want to say is that I'm going to give you the responsibility of the last video in the class. I have to do go box to if the very last class in the video. So we're going to record the video professionally, right? You're going to record the video professionally, edit the video, and you're going to deliver the video to me. Let us know if you're going to play the class to see what you have done. So, and also, everyone will be doing videos. So, take note, everyone will be doing videos. I will assign videos to you, I will assign videos for you to do. So, it is the intention that we all see that will make up this course. So, that's what they okay. Right? So, please take note. I'm giving the other guy video to do. The guy delivered. So, it's in front of beauty to do. After beauty, we'll move to the next person. All right, so like I told you, we are going to be moving into a deeper aspect of this course. But before we go deeper, I just want to take some time to explain some cybersecurity rules. You're learning cybersecurity. What are the roles you are supposed to take up as a cybersecurity specialist? And don't forget that cybersecurity is very broad, right? What we are doing in this course is to introduce you to all of the important aspects of cybersecurity. But like I previously said, you can't do everything in cybersecurity. You have to be focused on a particular area and be better in that area, right? So these are things we're going to be exploring and explaining today. So cybersecurity and anxiety are rapidly growing field in a wide range of opportunities. The key to excelling in cybersecurity is mastering the right tools and technology. That's just the key. You have to master the right skills, the right technology, the right tools that are relevant to each role. So on the first row here, we have cybersecurity analysts. There's a particular role I did not add. It's called SOC analyst. SOC analyst. SOC means security operation center. Security SOC, yes, SOC analyst. I didn't add it here. Because it's almost the same with cybersecurity analyst. That's why I didn't previously add it. But of a truth, it's not actually the same. No, they are almost the same. So if you can become a SOC analyst, you can also become a cybersecurity and security analyst because they are almost similar with this, similar tools. And it's an entry level to cybersecurity. So I'll just use this so you can double down on your own what does SOC analyst do, what does SOC analyst mean, stuff like that. So but let's talk about a cybersecurity analyst. A cybersecurity analyst is responsible for monitoring networks and systems for any sign of malicious activity, right? Responding to incidents, mitigating threats, they ensure that security measures are being followed and identify vulnerabilities on the organization's IT system. So, as a cybersecurity analyst, your role is to monitor, identify, right? Identify malware created by hackers, monitor it, and respond to incidents. Once an incident happens, an attack happens, it's your role as a cybersecurity analyst to go into action and do what you have to do. So the key responsibility is to monitor network traffic for suspicious activity, right? Analyze and respond to security breaches, implement preventive measures like firewalls and antivirus software, maintain security standards and policies, right? So tools that you must master for you to become a cybersecurity analyst. SIEM, right? Security information and event management. And this SIEM consists of tools like the Splunk, the log reading, the SolarWinds. So in this training, we're going to look at SIEM and we're going to look at Splunk, right? Networking tools, Wireshark, Nagio, SolarWinds. In this training also, we're also going to look at Wireshark, vulnerability scanner, networks, and OpenWax, firewall management, PSS, checkpoints, Cisco ASA. So these are the tools that you must master. So we're also going to look at PSS. So we're going to look at some of these major tools that you the CM and cybersecurity analysis. The intrusion detection system, SNOT and Suricata. SNOT and Suricata is a software inside PSN. So by the time we work with PSN, we still have to work with SNOT and Suricata, right? So these are tools that you need to master if you want to take up roles as a cyber security analyst or a SOC analyst. So number two is penetration tester. So the penetration tester is the ethical hacker. And for you to become a penetration tester, even right now, after the training that you've already gotten, you're already qualified to become a penetration tester because penetration testers are ethical hackers, right? So what they do is to conduct penetration tests, ethical hacking applications, network, and system, report findings, and suggest improvements to security. So the one is to hack the system, check for vulnerabilities, check if there's loophole in the system, report same, yes, report same to organizations and all of that. So penetration testing framework, these are the tools you must master. Metasploit, popularly we have done a lot on Metasploit. It is Nmap, Netcat, Wireshark. We have discussed most of all these, the Bob suit, OWASP, and the NICTO, right? Exploit DB, social engineering two key sets, the hashcat, John the Ripper, aircraft engine, and Wi-Fi pineapple. So if you look at all of the tools, you see that we have almost completed all of those trainings. There are more tools, right? But if you can master these two very well, you can call yourself a penetration tester, and you can start applying for roles for penetration tester. So if I get you, I'm still looking up for roles for penetration testers. Like probably roles that you can do online, probably go to Fiverr, look at roles for penetration testers, go to Blogger, go to Forum, go to job sites, look for roles for penetration testers, and see even if you I still can train you if you can get your hands on how you can start working online as a penetration tester. Probably subsequently in this training, I'm also going to look out for job postings and links, and we're going to explain them in class and show you how you can enroll to get a job as a penetration tester and while you're doing your training. Right? So if I forget that, somebody should remind me. So number three is security engineer. So once we go down the ladder, we are actually going to top the radar, right? So as we're going down, we're going to top the radar. So security engineer design, implement, and maintain systems and infrastructure that safeguard organization data. So for you to be a security engineer, you must be good in networking and you must also be good in networking, right? So the design security systems that are firewall encryption protocols, implement security measures, data and networks, and align and respond to potential security breaches, build disaster recovery plans, and implement secure access control. So you must master tools like firewall operation, Palo, Fortinet, and Cisco. Now these are very high-end security tools, right? OpenVPN, Cisco, AnyConnect, OpenSSL, GPG, BitLocker, Snot, Suricata, Cisco Firewall Power, right? So, like I told you before, this Snot Suricata is also inside PFSense, and we're going to be looking at all of that. Security Center, that's cloud security. So, for you to take up this role, you also need to learn cloud security, not just is one aspect, cloud security is another aspect, right? So, number four is security architects. So, for you to take up role in security architect, you need to be able to design security infrastructure for organization. To develop security policies and protocols, right? So security architecturers are people who design security protocols and policies, who is to access the system, who is not supposed to access the system, what password and username to be given to the person, who used a system that is not supposed to use, who breached the system and all of that. Right? So the key responsibility is to design and implement secure system and application, evaluate and improve security posture, ensure compliance with security industries and GDPR, right? And work closely with the IT teams to build a secure environment. So you need to master tools like Cisco Packet Tracer, JNS3. We did JNS3 in this class, right? Yeah, we did JNS3, yeah. Then NIST, cybersecurity framework, CIS controls, and risk watch, ROSA, and ACA. Right? So we also have compliance tools like Qualys, Trust Act, and One Trust. So number five is the what incident responder. Incident responder. So we're going to do a course, a full course on incident response. We have a full course on incident response. One is problem that happened. What is the response that just do? If it happens, what is the response? And there's something called 0-day attack. What is that? 0-day attack. 0-day attack. Now, 0-day attack are kind of attack that are unknown, right? Because just like security engineers are building these security tools, hackers are also building hacking tools that probably they have not been deployed. It's just like what's this country Iran, right? Just like when Iran was secretly building their missiles, they were secretly building their missiles. So the same way hackers are secretly building tools to attack, especially statewide hackers, attack countries. So once they finish building such tools and they launch such tools, it can take months, years to do that. And they're always successful. Just like the 0-day attack thing that I told you about. Once they launch such an attack, it's always successful and it happens and they always get away with it. Right? So you should be able as an instant responder to respond to such an attack. Because you have to now probably study the attack and know why the attack happened, what technologies was used to design that attack, and how to mitigate to make sure that such an attack never happens to your organization. So identify and contain security breaches, investigate the root cause of an attack. You see that's a very critical thing. Investigate the root cause of an attack. Develop incident response plans and manage recovery efforts. Forensically analyze compromised systems. So We're also having a course on forensics, right? Forensics. So forensics are people. They also forensics also work. Cybersecurity forensics also work with police. They work with the FBI to determine what caused this, who was frauded, how it came, what technology they use, and all of that. Trained. So incident response team management is high, ROTI, simplify, NK, FTK imager, and social discovery tools. Right? So you can begin to look at logo, try to learn about them, especially if that area is what you want to go into. So log analysis, which is a Splunk, because Splunk is used to monitor logs in systems in the network, right? So cybersecurity consultant. Cybersecurity consultant advise users on how to secure their IT infrastructure. They will conduct audits, assess existing security system, and develop strategies to mitigate security risks. So they assess organization, vulnerabilities, and provide recommendations. They stay up to date on the latest security trends, assist with compliance regulations, and help organizations develop security policies. So some of the tools you need to master is the Nexus, the Open Bars, Acuities, Compliance Framework, which is the NIST, ISO IEC 27001. So this is like a standard for security. The PCI DSS, and Cloud Security, Cloud Tray, Azure Security Center, AWS, Inspect, the risk assessment, failing risk watch, and Opti. So these are some of the tools that you need to. So the Chief Information Security Officer is an executive position, right? It's an executive position in any industry. And it's responsible for overseeing all the cyber security strategies within our organization. They set policies, lead the security, and manage the security budget, right? So they develop cybersecurity strategies and roadmaps, they oversee risk management and compliance, lead security teams, and ensure communication with upper management. Right? So these guys, most of the time, the people who do this are people who are at the top and they really know nothing about these tools. Right? So they work with lower cybersecurity positions who are very good with these tools. Right? Their own is not to now take reports and report to management. They are always at the executive level. And you know, people who are always at the executive level, they are not very good. But they are good in thinking, they are good in decision making, they are good in leading a team. So not necessarily that they really know how to use these tools. So they work with people who know how to use these tools, get reports, and use reports in executive to make decisions, suggest the budget, and all of that. So, and of course, you see a very powerful tool here, which has to do with data analysis. Yeah, see that Tableau and Power BI. So you see that data really is hard, it's deep, it cuts across everywhere. So it has linked to data analysis now because Tableau and Power BI are other powerful tools that are used for data analysis. And of course, for you to do Tableau and Power BI, you also need to do Excel. Because most of the data that you will be working with using Power BI, you must first of all divide it in Excel. From Excel, you report them to Power BI. Then you start working with them. So number 8 is the malware analyst. So the malware analyst study malicious softwares, right? To understand how it works, how it spread, and how to defend against it. They reverse engineering malware and find ways to detect and remove it. So the tools you must master are IDA Pro, ODBG, and X64DBG. So these are some other tools too, like Hydra, Radar, HSD, and O10 editor, right? So for you to become a malware analyst, you must know how to use tools like this. So network security administrators. So this role is also a very, very difficult role because you also need to master networks very well and cyber security to take up control. And network security administrators maintain the integrity of the organization's network. They ensure that the network infrastructure is secure and resilient to cyber attack. So they configure and manage firewall routers and switches, right? They configure manage network routers and switches. So in an organization, the configuration of our species is totally hands-off. job of cybersecurity, right? He's totally out of his job. But people understand how to out of his work, right? But configuration of routers and switches is another thing entirely, which is handled by the network, security, yes, network engineer. They have without routers and switches, they cannot be network. You understand? They cannot be networks. They cannot be firewalls. They nothing. So it's almost very likely that who is going to take up this role. So they implement and monitor network access control, manage network security systems, troubleshoot security incidents, and network problems. So firewall, PFM, Cisco ASA, FortiGate. So this Cisco ASA is a very powerful firewall and router infrastructure. It's owned by Cisco. Intrusion detection systems such as NOT, Suricata, I want to discuss about this, VPN tools, OpenVPN, Cisco, and AnyConnect. We're also going to be configuring OpenVPN in this training, right? So, network monitoring tools such as Nagio, Navis, and following. So, we have cloud security engineer, right? Of course, you must through Google Cloud, AWS, those are the leading guys in cloud security. So the enjoy organization data application hosted in the cloud are secure for cyber threats. Not security is another very good thing that you should learn because you can't get into the cloud. Right. So the cloud-based infrastructures, just a major cloud-based infrastructure. So the security infrastructure and services manage cloud access control and identity management. Implement encryption and secure data storage practices. So you see that AWS, that is the leader when it comes to cloud web services. So Google is also trying in cloud security. Google Cloud Security is also trying. So identity and access management. I am. So anywhere you see the word identity and access management is what I am. It's also a very, very crucial point that we will discuss extensively in this training. Right? Because anything that we need to do in this training, we are going to talk about I am first in its own. And you have to look at identity and access management. What's your identity? What's your access? Right? Your identity and your access. A system of identifying you and validate that you have an access before you need you to write. So in that we talk about access, we talk about authorization, we talk about so we have compliance analysts. Compliance analysts ensure that organization complies with necessary legal, regulatory, and internal standards. They implement processes and audits to meet compliance requirements like GDPR, HIPAA, and PCDSS. And also, you also need to be acquainted with Nigerian laws for cybersecurity. Recently, they passed some laws that they passed some new laws in cybersecurity law. They don't pass some new laws. Now you can no longer record people without. You are calling me and you are recording me. I'm going to kill the president. Well, yes, you have the right to record our conversation. You can tell me. You have the right to video me and post. You have the right to take my video and use it. Right? Go to 2 years or 5 years imprisonment. And you also have the right and the fast to add to your scholarship, right? Like my wife did to me one time. Collected my phone when I was sleeping. I started reading on my chat, right? Go for 2 years imprisonment. Fine. Like first case. And if you do it again, I'll press it for her.
But eventually you could be just someone who you're acting with but I don't be like you so the voice that conferences your life and the just chat. So this thing to give the same.
If you can prove your case now, you got to prove your case then, right? You have to prove your case. Because of the truth, that's a very important aspect. Let's say you to something. You should be able to prove your case. If you prove your case, it's fine. All right. So the monitor and enforce compliance, conduct audits, and help organization prepare for audits. So they use such tools like OneTrust and Trust Act, Fairly, Metric Stream, Nexus, Qualix, and Acune Text. So we have forensic analysts. Forensic analysts. I love this so much. Yeah, because they work with, they're investigative in a higher level. So forensic analysts investigate cybercrime by collecting and analyzing digital evidence. They work with law enforcement agencies to uncover the details of cyber attacks, data breaches, and other malicious activities. Like investigate breaches, cyber attacks online, recover loss or deleted data. The forensic are people that um, something that you said just now, assist with legal proceedings or investigation. So the master these tools, FTK Major, Patient Discovery, R Studio, and Recovery. I think this R Studio is a programming language. Because I did something like R Studio where we didn't have to try to use R Studio. It's a programming language. Autopsy, right? Autopsy, sleuth kit. So each cybersecurity role requires specialized knowledge, mastering the appropriate tools, is essential for excellence in this role. So whether you are an aspiring penetration tester, a visual system, understanding the relevant to set you on the path to success. So as you go forward in your cybersecurity training, the key to examine what and what role that you want to take so that you can focus yourself in building yourself around those two and those roles. Because trust me, you can't know all the tools. You can't do all the tools. All right. So, in the part two of this training, which is the cyber security of this training, like I told you, you need to uninstall your the virtual lab, virtual box. And when you uninstall your virtual box, you should go to your computer and go to users. When you come to users, you come to this user, you are going to see something like virtual box. You need to delete this folder, right? You need to delete this folder. Then also, when you go back here, okay, let me see. There's another folder here. Yes, virtual box VMs. Yeah, those two folders. This folder you need to total after you have uninstalled, remove all your Kali, Windows, all that. Because we are still going to install it. It's going to install Windows. Installing Windows 11. So, it's going to install Windows. So, remove all of these after you have uninstalled. Then you come back again, go to see, then go to program files. Then you'll see something like Oracle. You also need to remove this folder, right? You don't want that when you install Virtual again, you go back and try to bring all those things that we have done. Even if we are going to redo some of these things again, right? So we want to fresh installation so that this will affect our new installation and our network. Right? So moving forward, we want to talk about what we call yeah, all file, everything. That's why you need those programs. Because those files inside those programs. Everybody is now. You can uninstall and delete it. This one is here. And also install YouTube. Yeah, that's it. That's good. You have to uninstall and delete everything. But let's finish the class first. Let's finish the class. So, security practical lab setup. Right? Now, before we set up our lab, please go there. Before I come, so I don't miss this class. So, the concept of Allah is good for us to understand what hypervisors are, right? So, most especially in this second part of the study, we are going to be doing a lot of explanation. Because before you start using tools and executing command, you don't know what that tool does. You don't understand why the reason why I use that tool, right? You don't understand it. So, what is hypervisor? Hypervisor, also known as visual machine monitor, is a layer of software that enables visualization by aligning multiple operating systems, right?
Yes, sir.
To run single physical machines simultaneously, it sits between the hardware and the operating system effectively. So, in a nutshell, hypervisors are VMs, not like the picture of this, right? The picture of VM hypervisor. But there are different types of hypervisor. We have the hypervisor 1 and hypervisor 2, right? So hypervisors are crucial for federal cybersecurity lab, and they allow you to simulate multiple network environments, operating systems, and configuration to test security measures. So another reason why we use VM, even in a real life network, let's say you want to firewall in an enterprise, you need to the right practice is first of all install it into your virtual machines, configure it, see them working before you create them. You got it now? So your supervisors are something that you are going to use every day of your life in the career of God. So you don't implement in a physical environment like that, right? Before you implement anything in your physical environment, you first of all implement it in your virtual machine. Test it, configure it, and start the work. Once you succeed in that before you have to deploy to your network, so you have that problem when you are deploying. Trust me, by the time you start doing live project of how working communication, you will crack that. Because sometimes you will do what is right, but you're not getting the result. I work as a network. I know what I'm saying. Configure what I'm talking about. Configure the file, the printer, and file the printing, and share. Friends, I don't think one tick out of what I need was a tick. So it's always something that works with your emotion too. You have to be emotionally okay to be able to do this. And because before I management said, we want to send printer, I want to send something to printer in our gas office. You understand? Because in the organized business, you don't carry flash, you don't carry flash. Nobody uses flash drive. If you are caught with a flash drive, you go to jail. Nobody, yes, you go to jail. What are you doing with flash drive? You go to jail, you are caught. So if you want to send something to me, you send it over the network, right? You want to print, God, there's something you want to print to, I want to see, you send it straight to the printer in my office and come back. Or you send it fast. You send something from your branch, you send it, the fast in the office in the network. Disconnected.
So how does network, the CGNS
It's on. Is it what?
those network like for different server and different pieces? Is this change? How do you
So
go?
JLS is a simulator. It's not in it's not real life technology. In real life, you use all those Cisco routers and PSNs that we have. We look at PSNs. It's just a simulator to design the network. But in real life situation, you use real router. And that JLS is like a router to connect like a simulator actually. But it's not a real life stuff, right? JLS, we also have packet tracer. I think check packet tracer. Packet tracer is for people who not really going through networking. They use packet tracer to simulate not to simulate that is. All right, so now we have types of hypervisor. Like I told you, when you hear the word hypervisor, I just think about your VMs, travel, VMware. So, but we have two types of hypervisor. Type 1, they are bare metal, and type 2, they are hosted. Each has its own advantage depending on the internet kit. So, what are type 1 hypervisors? They run directly on what? On hardware, right? No need for a host OS. So that is to say, they don't need operating system. That is to say, you can buy this computer with purpose of hypervisor 1, right? You install it. They themselves are operating system, right? They are higher in performance since it doesn't rely on any operating system. Type 1 hypervisor do not need your Windows operating system to work. You buy a machine for them and you install it, right? Type 1 providers provide strong isolation between VMs, making them ideal for testing cybersecurity scenarios where you need to complete separation between systems. So an example is VMware XCI, widely used in enterprise environment, highly reliable for creating multiple VMs and managing their security. We have Microsoft Hyper-V, built on Windows Server, designed for visualizing enterprise environment. We have Zen, it's open source and widely used in data centers and large-scale enterprise. We also have key KVM, kernel-based virtual machines. Now, we also have, there's one idea here, Proxmox. Proxmox. Yeah, it's very important. Use case in your network segmentation type. One of answers are ideal for simulating networks, environment, multiple isolation between different systems, etc. So the thing is, just like you have network, right? These items are also there. You don't install them like you install Windows system. And you now install your virtual machine, your Windows machine, your kali line inside. So they don't need Windows operating system. Just that is just the main takeaway for that. So let's move to that type 2 hypervisor installed on top of host operating system. Then type 2 runs on operating system. So is Visual Boss a type 1 of the type 2 hypervisor? Yes, it's a type 2 hypervisor. Because it runs on the operating system. Exactly. You need to be acquainted with this. Or if you go for a interview, it's one question you're asking. Or even the dance you can do that okay. So we're going to use actual hypervisor, right? The company will say, okay, we're going to use actual hypervisor. No hypervisor the fall between type 2 and also type 10.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Are there software that might run in type 1 that might not run in type 2? Like, I want to know the major advantage.
I already explained that. Type 1 hypervisor are not what you run inside the operating system. They are themselves an operating system.
Yeah.
Get it now? So there are in an enterprise or an enterprise, you buy the machine specifically for such supervisors. You build a machine for them. So no need for you to go and be, if you look at the type 2 that we use the virtual, if you don't have Windows operating system on your system, you cannot use it now. Abi? So for the fact that it relies on an already operating system to work is a type 2. But instead, system and also have like fear other systems before design things. You get it now? So if you have a kind of like cross you have to like a flash, just like same way you put Windows in a flash, what they call it, you boot the system, then you install the supervisor, then you have your own, then you now start adding the machine. Just the way you have Windows, you have Kali, you have better storage, yeah. So there's nothing like Windows.
So why I was asking because as a question where we created various for Windows, we tried to turn on the camera, it didn't work. If you use that type one, which is normal CPU, it didn't work like that part, it didn't work. So some functions will not on in the direct and it sounded like it has a lot of it features, maybe the Windows.
No, they will definitely work. Sometimes you need to activate those things to work. Right? For example, if you are using a camera, you need to connect, you know, there's a visual machine, it's not directly connected to your host computer. It's a visual machine. And you are telling me to now go and click on your main computer exactly. So you need to do some configuration for you to be able to see that. For instance, now, if you want to hack your camera normally, the best way to do is to buy an external camera. Put it, go to your input devices, configure that camera to work with visual machine, with your visual board, right? Then hack that camera. So it's because it's a very sophisticated software. That's why sometimes like even I keep my own, it turned my camera off. It turned my camera and it was blank. I wasn't seeing anything. But if you go and buy an external camera, connect it and configure it with trouble, it will happen. So based on configuration. But in such type one hypervisor, it will easily done because the is is working with that machine. So every configuration is configured to work with that machine. But VS, you are creating a machine inside a machine. You understand? Creating a machine inside a machine. You are saying, I beg you, separate my machine from this my normal computer. I want to come to my normal computer to work in this environment. So everything you do to be in that environment, continue to work for that environment. So, key that if it runs on top of an on a DCOS, you need an underlying operating system to run a type 2 hypervisor. Each of you, ID for personal use, research and education environment, due to its simplicity and quick setup. You see that? So it's more simpler to use hypervisor 2 than 1. So you see that example, picture box, VMware workstation, right? A commercial product that allows you to run multiple operating systems on a single physical machine. We also have parallel desktop. You know this parallel desktop, we also have it. Then the app of parallel app. Yes. If for example now you want to use multiple Instagram, multiple TikTok on your phone, you go to your app and install parallels. So that parallels, you can clone any app in your main phone and open it inside your parallels and use. Right? You can clone it and use it as a parallel. So we also have it. Yes, 100, yes, 100. So feature penetration testing, type 2 advisors like VirtualBox and VMware Workstation are ideal for certain cybersecurity lab to run Windows OS. The other guy that came to our class, and you see that when VirtualBox is not working for him, he went to install VMware. So VirtualBox, VMware, Parallel Desktop, they are all hypervisors and they are easy to set up. Of course, you see that they are easy to set up. If you install your own app and uninstall those ones that ask for install, you install the type again. So it's very quick and easy. So in I might not be saying install a couple, install your type 2 hypervisor. You know what I'm saying? All right, so that is that for that. I'm going to give you, I think of this material for this. Yes, so this material are going to be on the pro. So the next thing we are not going to look at today is yes. Okay, okay, that's true. That's true. So what you're going to do is that after you have set up all this new system, you can put on it inside it, right? You can put on it inside it. That's a very good one. So I don't know how you want to do it. I don't know how you want to do it. Yeah, I expected that last week we would have finished. You don't know. We are committing on Monday next week, so just find a way. Yes, ma'am. Right. Yes, on Monday 28th.
No, like normally it's
What is
normally
today's date?
today's 14.
Okay.
Still have to remember
Okay, no problem. But just find a way. Probably go and buy another computer. You know, I think everything's not complete now.
well,
Even me now, I'm already, the machine I'm designing now is because this type of supervisor. I want to set up a system in my house. I'm not going to about those supervisors. I set it up and I connect it to the network. I don't need the physical machine. I can access it from my laptop. So I can get into that supervisor. Where all my virtual machines are, even if the physical machine is at home, I can work from it. So me personally, I'm building one small machine now. It's costing me about $700 to build that machine. Yeah, about $700. I don't need money to because I can operate it from my computer here. But it's going to be a type one advisor that will be easier for me to just stay with the cubes. All right. So moving on, we want to discuss firewall. Now, how many of you have ever gone to US embassy? Probably one or any embassy. You gone. Now, if you have ever gone to embassy for interview, you will notice one thing that the embassy people, I don't know how they call them, the embassy, the consulate, yes, the officers, they are primarily programmed to deny visa. I don't even know that. They are primarily trained, configured to deny your visa. So maybe they feel like visa are denial. I don't know if you know that. Yes, that is what they do. They are primarily programmed to deny visa. So for them to give you that visa, you have to now prove that you really need a visa, that the information you get to them is correct, right? That the information you get is true, that you are actually going to their country and not going there to run or japa, that you are actually going to come back, right? That is exactly how firewall works. Firewall is primarily programmed to deny traffic. Firewall does not trust any traffic coming into it until you prove for it that you are genuine. So if you don't remember anything, remember this scenario. Firewalls are primarily programmed to deny traffic, control traffic. So you have to not prove to the firewall that, hey, give me access. Why do I need to give you access? Because I want to send something to a Nokia, and a Nokia actually requested it. And a Nokia has the right to request it. And Nokia is legally existing in this system and in this network. Then the firewall will not check. True or false, the truth will allow you. But if you come and he's asking you questions and you don't have answer, right? So a firewall is a security system, get that, that monitor and control the incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predefined security rules, right? So you must meet those rules. You must be able to answer that you really are legally accessing. It acts as a barrier between a trusted internal network and untrusted external network, such as the internet. The primary role of a firewall is to allow or block traffic based on IP addresses, ports, protocols, and other packet level attributes, ensuring that malicious or unauthorized traffic is prevented. You got it now? So in cybersecurity, firewalls are critical for component of a defense in-depth strategy and are deployed in various environments, from home network to enterprise level infrastructure to filter system data and prevent. So the purpose of firewall is to prevent those bad guys who want to come into your network and mess you up, install malware in your network, in your system, install one, install, or some of them are not even probably how to come and install malware. Some of them are coming from the hospital or to spy. You know that this happened to Google one time. Most the spyware was only on their system, collecting data. They didn't go for months. Because nobody for months, spyware enter through the staff, through a particular staff. So a particular staff acted like a particular staff. Sorry, an attacker acted like a particular staff and sent a mail to another staff, and the staff clicked on the mail and the one entered into their system and started duplicating and doing the unknown. All right, so types of firewalls. So we have packet filtering firewalls. I'm not going to explain all of these. You can go and read them. We have state inspection firewalls. We have proxy firewalls. We have next generation firewall. Yes. This includes advanced features such as application awareness, deep packet inspection, intrusion prevention, advanced threat intelligence. Right? Next generation firewalls are used in enterprise environment to protect against sophisticated. So firewalls are now actually moving into AI. AI is now being implemented in firewall, right? So AI firewalls can look at a system and say, oh, this is a threat, automatically block, automatically alert, right? And automatically prevent such an attack. next time. So we have web application firewall. They protect web application by filtering monitoring HTTP traffic between web applications and the internet. Unified threat management firewalls. So key features of a great firewall setup in real world cybersecurity applications. No sleeping, Mr. Man. You can stand up, right? So like I said, there will be a lot of explanation in this particular course so that you understand what you are doing when you are doing it, not just coding and doing all of this, right? So there's not too much code in this aspect of the training, but there is a lot of work which almost not to code. So there's not too much code, right? All right. When designing a firewall setup for a real world application, there are certain advanced features and configurations that make the firewall more effective.
It's a great fire.
Yes, we're going to do it today or probably tomorrow.
Delicious.
Yes. And we're going to create a very sophisticated firewall.
They were going to create a malware that the fire will be active.
Why is it rush? This is why you're finishing class. Finishing class. You are just getting started, you want to finish. We just got started. For real, we just got started. For real. So, for a firewall to be said to be a very good firewall, like I said, firewall is like the backbone security of our organization. You understand? And they are trying to bounce you just like bouncer. They want to bounce you. So you can prove to them that you have access. You prove to them that you are allowed. You are allowed. Just keep that at the back of your mind. So firewall is as important as anything. Because without firewall, baby hackers will just enter your network, enter your system, enter your website, enter everything. So, for you to say firewall is good, it must have a granular access control, right? It must be role-based. Implement role-based access control to ensure users' devices are only allowed to access specific resources depending on the role in the organization, right? So, if you are not allowed to authorize the transaction, do not authorize it. You get that? So that's like a role based according to your role. It's just the same way we work in our organization here. Manually. You have your role, you have your role, you have your role, you have your role. You only do what your role says you should do. You cannot come and be telling me I should give you money when you don't have anything to do with money in the organization. Role based, right? So stateful inspection, deep packet inspection, and layer 7 inspection, right? So another thing that is very important here is what intrusion detection system. So a great firewall should have an integrated IDS. Proper IDS and also called IDPS. Intrusion detection and prevention system. What was called intrusion detection system. So a great firewall must have these two. Intrusion detection and prevention, where you detect and you prevent. Right? So a great firewall should have ideas to detect malicious activity based on known attack signatures or abnormal traffic patterns. This is typically paired with a alerting system to notify administrators of the suspicious activity in real time. Right? Intrusion prevention system take this a step further by not only detecting but preventing. So firewall should have these principles. Right. VPN support and secure remote access. So a firewall is not just firewall, it should also support VPN. Right? Encryption and authentication. The firewall should enforce strong encryption standards for VPN traffic and ensure multi-factor authentication for remote users to add an extra layer of security. I'm going to talk about MFA when we go to IAM, Identity Access Management. Advanced threat intelligence integration. I've talked about it before. High availability and redundancy, right? Centralized management and monitoring. So a good firewall should have a centralized system to manage the network, monitor the network, alert the network, and also prevent.
So
Yes,
it's now that pop-up message like your antivirus.
yes, firewalls can do that. Yes, firewalls can alert.
Like before we used to have a code to develop our firewalls. Some firewalls are still active now. Some are still active because they are just it will still show you that your
That's
antivirus.
why you will use PowerShell. You will have a code that we use PowerShell to turn on.
Open your PowerShell,
That's why, like I told you, that firewall are designed to authenticate even when you disable them. If you disable them now, before you go and come back, you can, I tell you our class now, if you restart your system, they will come back. Because they are moving you like you are used to, you are your firewall. It's the one protecting you right now. But you want to install that funny game. That funny game in your mind, you must install that. Firewall telling you, go install it, but you install it. It happens now, now we do it. You want to play that game. It's just like I buy a script for somebody and I want to download it. Say it's a virus. What do I pay for? What do I do like that? You want to download it? How will you say that virus? Of course. How will you say it? It's not like that. You have every day now.
Yes,
Some
even
people
on
say,
your
ah,
Android phone, they
eh,
are downloading an app. If you want to install it, they'll tell you third party apps,
exactly.
things like that.
And you really want to install that app. So these are the reasons. But the firewall is telling you that oh, I don't need it. But, ah, no, I need it. These are people that can also manipulate. Right? So, firewall management to real-time monitoring and alarm. I've said it over and over again. A firewall should be able to monitor alert and critical in real time. Right? So, we have web application firewall. We've talked about that, and we have advanced logging and auditing. So, a critical feature of any firewall is ability to log network traffic and events. So, for anything that happens in the network, the firewall should be able to record it. Right? Firewall should be able to record that people logged into at 2 a.m. last night and she opened a file called secret. You get it now? So behavioral analytics
So all firewalls, or firewalls that are configured to do that.
yeah, that's why it's not just I'm not talking about firewall in your normal PC. I'm talking about firewall in your network that protects 1 million pieces, 1,000 pieces. You understand me now? Once the firewall, now we're not talking about this firewall, we're going to talk about the firewall, which is like a basic firewall. We're talking about real firewall in the network, in an organization, in a balance, right?
Yes, sir.
In the cloud. That's what we're talking about. So, access to general reporting, we have already said that. So now move up to what we call the PFSense firewall. So we are going to be installing a firewall called PFSense. PFSense. So before we move into this aspect, I just want everybody to stand up and shake your body. So that this one can enter your head. Stand up for 1 minute and shake your body. Shake your body. Stand up and shake your body.
Yes, that's not okay.
No, you are not ready. Stand up and shake your body here. And prepare for the trouble ahead. 1 minute, 1 minute. Trust me, you will get through all this. You will get through all this. Peter, we need a flat drive. For the software, my own time, I don't think for the software, I want you guys, they are very quick to download, so let me just copy them and
Virus on it.
virus. Yeah, your firewall and but sometimes when you open a flat, I see dots, not dots, folder, maybe dots. Maybe folder name, they put dots. No, not dots. Maybe maybe you created a folder, Adebayo, and in front of the folder you are seeing dot Adebayo. Don't do that. Virus.
You created a folder called Adebayo. Then you now see dot Adebayo.
Uh,
My virtual box is dot virtual box.
no, that one is better. I'm talking about being created on your file.
Oh, wow.
No, dot file and special file.
Yeah.
In your system, when you see dot file, you don't just delete them, not delete them, you have that system. But if you created a folder and it's not done and you have seen dot, just know that it might be a virus. Yeah. Yes. Yes, the other guy. So let's continue. Let's continue. We are moving ahead. so let everybody sit down.
Yes, he wants to give us.
All right. So let's look at PFSense. PFSense. What is PFSense? PFSense is an open source. Like I told you, an open source is a software that is available for free. You also have paid version chat, but it can also be available for free for you to manipulate and keep and configure. So it's a open source, an open source enterprise grade firewall and router. So a PFSense is not just a firewall, it's also a router. Right? You know that in a network, the primary purpose of the router is to distribute IP addresses to systems. PACS, right? So a PSN do not just act as a firewall, also act as what? As a router, also distributing IP addresses to your what? To your system. It is based on free BSD. So take note of this word free BSD because by the time you want to configure your future box, you are going to do something like this free BSD and you are going to select it. So it provides advanced, look at it now, advanced security features such as firewall protection, VPN services, and network monitoring, and it's typically used for both small and large networks. Right? See that when we're explaining cybersecurity rules, some of these things were mentioned in cybersecurity rules, in the rules. And PHN is just there to take care of that. It is highly customizable and is often used by businesses, IT professionals, and cybersecurity experts due to its flexibility, cost effectiveness, and extensive features. So, what are the key features of a PSN firewall router? The amazing, very, very good. Firewall and the router. PSN can be configured to manage network traffic, allowing users to control and filter internet access, block malicious traffic. You see that? And implement security policies. VPN support PSN. VPN support. PSN offers support for various VPN protocols, including IPsec, OpenVPN, and PPT. You see that some of those things that you see in your cybersecurity role, you're going to be working with them in PSN. Allowing remote users to securely connect to the network. Traffic shaping. It helps optimize bandwidth usage and improve network performance by prioritizing traffic, which comes first. Intrusion detection and prevention. You see that? High availability. So this evidence about features like CAP, common address redundancy protocol to provide high availability and available for future network. So use of PSN in cybersecurity. PSN is widely used in cybersecurity to protect corporate networks. You see that? So even if you want to use it in a controlled environment, it is widely used in the real cybersecurity world. For corporate network, even small businesses and home network. It is known for its strong security features like deep packet inspection, VPN management, intrusion detection system. So it's also an attractive choice for those looking for a free open source solution that is easy to configure and scale. It is not as common in large enterprise settings where more specialized, often priority solutions might be used, right? So there are other software that are actually more higher than it, but it's also very used in big and small based organizations. So competitors and alternatives. So if you don't want to use PSN, we also have what we call openness, support Edgate firewall, Cisco Assad. This is a one of the industry standards for firewalls. And it's not a firewall. So it's like a commercial firewall appliance that offers robust security features like VPN support, content feature, intrusion prevention. It's designed for larger network with higher security needs. So fortunately, everything that this does, PFS cannot do it, right? So we also have 49 FortiGates, Otago NG firewall, Virtual firewall, right? So why PSS is widely used and highly regarded in cybersecurity community, especially for SME, facing competition from other open source, right? So now there's a lot of competition. So PSS networking and subnetting. So for us to do the operation I want to do, I can't go into our installation. We'll be doing like subnetting, right? And I want to have an understanding about subnetting before we do so. Subnetting is just a simple way of breaking network into two, right? A simple way of breaking networks into two. So if I have something like this, 10.1.1.10, right? This is a network, right? And if I have slash 24 in the network, it means that it has what?
It's all the boss.
It has a gateway of 255, 255.255.255.0, right? You've seen that already. Now, if I have another network 10.1.3.10, good. These two networks are different networks. So that's where subnetting comes in. So subnetting, with subnetting, you can design this kind of network and also design this kind of network and connect both of them to communicate. That's what we are going to. Right? So you can have this kind of network and you can have this kind of network. You know, in our previous lessons, we said for those computers to communicate, they must be on the same network. Right. So for subnetting allows you to bring network, one network, two network, three network, four network, five network, six network, connect all of them together and allow them to communicate. And set a policy. And say, for instance, beauty is an higher executive level in Webit. Right? She has a department. I have my department. Mr. Siwa has his department. And in each department, you have staffs. So, beauty can be said to be network A and network B. Mr. Siwa is network C. All of us have our different staffs. Right? Now, I can be configured to only access resources that are available in the network. Mr. Siwa can be configured to only access resources in his own network. But beauty can be configured to access resources in a network and also access resources in my network and also access resources in CWET network, higher level. Because of the kind of policies and privileges that she has, she can access the network. And why do you need to subnet? You subnet because of attacker. That is to say, if we have A to D, which is four networks right here, if attacker comes and attack network A, network B, C, and D receive the all. Because he cannot easily spread from network A to B, C, D. That is why we subnet again. You get it? And banks do it a lot. Banks do it a lot. So if you have their security system, they can put their server in another network and put their normal system in another network. So that once you compromise the stack and it enters into the network and starts spreading to those network, it may never get to the server. That makes sense. Yes. It may never get to the server. Because it can only spread and affect those networks. But for him to move from that network to another network, there will be a firewall, a better firewall, like a process to work. And it might not even recognize that you subnetted and there's another network. So if network A fails because of subnetting, you can switch over to network B and use it as a backup to do whatever you want to do and use that network to bring back this network. So subnetting is very important because of malicious attack and also to set privileges and give some people access to some network and deny them people access to some other network. Am I making sense?
There's no sound escaping.
Woo!
It's too light, but there's no sound.
There's no
Very,
sound?
very low.
Why now? Can you come and check that?
Are you collect? You don't collect on the I don't know if it's a laptop. Just connect to the YouTube.
Go on YouTube.
There is like the very first thing on the message I dropped. YouTube.com. It's not as loud as it was before. It was very loud.
Maybe because I move outside the network now.
I think it's my network. It's my network.
It's
It's
not
like
getting
louder.
louder.
And
It's working.
Is it working right?
Yes.
Okay, so subnet is the process of dividing large network into smaller network. I've explained that to you, right? So you can go ahead and read all of that. So visual box network adapter configuration. So when installing PFS, look at it practically now. We are going to do that in our now. When we want to install our PFS and configure two network adapters with IP address, so we will configure a static IP address one and configure another static IP address. Please, in this class, you must follow my instruction. If I'm using a particular IP address, use a particular IP address. Right? If I'm using a particular name, use a particular name. So that we can get the understanding of what we are doing and get things to work easily with us. So for example, if I install only Windows VM, I say install and give it the name Windows 101.1. Make sure you give it that name Windows 101.1. Don't go and use your own. So that in the network, you can easily identify that this is Windows 1. And of course, in large enterprise, the name of the network of a system in the network matters a lot. It matters, so you don't just name system anyhow. Because that often what the network firewall is going to use to identify that particular system. All right. Oh, why?
So I have a question. Is it possible to change the name of the network? For example, like an device through through a server through a device and changes the name and creates one device and use one like details. Just cut it.
Create one device like what? You think you install another computer in the network?
Yes, and
How do you install that
just
computer?
try to clone it as if it was a device that previous.
In a real scenario, in a real cybersecurity world, the computer is a physical machine as well. How will you create a new computer?
Like with the name, you do that.
You can actually change the name, of course.
Yes, in case like new user inside the server, yes, and change the name to the one you used to enter the attack. And it was like clone to try to clear the trace and track.
You will not be able to clear the trace because the first time you enter that system, the firewall will lock it, right? And when you change the name, the firewall will lock it. Now this name will change to this name. You get it now? So that's why they call monitoring and log and alert. Even while doing that, a good firewall can alert the system. And you know that you can even connect some firewalls, like AI firewalls, and you can connect them to security specialists can connect them to their phone. Or you are happening on your network. You can pick it up and pick it. Let me now. Can I see my screen?
And
it's true.
they should have
All right, let's move ahead. So, like I said, so we are going to be configuring two different networks, right? We're configuring two different networks. Now, I've just explained. So, in our case, we'll configure one adapter for PSN, which is our firewall. Because now we said the PSN acts like a firewall and a router, so it's going to control the network, right? So, we'll configure one adapter to one network, configure another adapter to another network, then configure another adapter with three adapters to the internet. So you should be able to access the internet. Then you should be able to also distribute IP address to other systems for two different networks, right? So that's what I'm just trying to explain here. So the network address will be this, meaning the device will IP address range this to this, blah 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 blah. So to allow communication between two subnets, you need to configure routing to create firewall rules in PSS to transmit traffic from one subnet to each other. So for two networks to communicate, You have to create a policy that is supposed to write in your PSN to for this network to be able to communicate with this network, right? So you don't just create the network. So configuring two networks with different subnets, e.g., this and this on PSN is a common and useful configuration. This type of setup provides several advantages and allow for segmentation, security, and network traffic control. Like I mentioned before. So below our use cases, network segmentation. By defining two different subnets on separate network interface, you are effectively segmenting your network into different zones, right? This is a critical practice for securing and managing network traffic in both small and large organizations. So we also have routing and traffic control. When you have two distinct subnets on PSN, the firewall can act as a router to control and route traffic between those two subnets, which is the two networks. So, for example, you may want to route traffic between different departments or floors in your organization, each residing in a separate subnet. So, this network could represent sales department and this could represent engineering department. Very now, so you can segment, subnet them different network. And both networks can communicate. You can do it that one department can communicate with its own network and also communicate with the second network. And you can also do it that the other department should not be able to communicate with this network because they don't have the rights. You get it now? So anything they do will reside in that network. Because let me tell you, in security, like I told you about in security, everybody is regarded as a thief. Yes, there is no trust. There is no law, zero trust. Zero trust. The firewall will treat any incoming traffic with a zero trust. So as you are coming, don't trust you. Right? So prove to people I should trust you. That's not proof. So I don't just say, why you have been accessing this network and let's let it be. No, I don't trust you. So that's what happens. So with PSN, you can create routing rules. You get that now. Routing rules with PSN that allow communication between these departments only if necessary. So they are from department, they don't need to communicate with another department. You don't want them. Let them sit down in the department. But as the manager or the controlling officer, I should be able to see what's happening in that department. Can I have a software in my system and I can monitor what you're doing in the system? If you are supposed to be working on you are doing Facebook on your laptop, I will see it on my system. That the beauty is working Facebook instead of doing work. Right? But now we're going to our main company that we are building. Oh, we implemented. We're going to be like a big organization. You will not be moving files from downstairs to upstairs and all that. So there must be this kind of thing practically in the set up there. Network protocol and all that. All right, so let's move ahead. So security zones, internal, external, and perimeter security. So when you guys will just read all of this, right? So one, the public facing interface. So we're going to have a WAN, we're going to have a LAN, we're going to have a DMZ. So like a three networks, right? Then firewall, you can set up specifically to allow traffic from year to year for accessing public website. They restrict access to LAN from both WAN and DMZ, right? That's why you see in some organizations, you have internet to when you cannot open Facebook. You cannot, yes, you cannot open it.
Like those kids that we restrict them.
Exactly. What internet are you because you have blocked for accessing Facebook. You cannot have that policy state. So improve network management. This setup can also help with better network management by making it easier to apply policies and controls. So you can create a network A, ask them in a group, and create their own policy for them. Create network B, put all of them in a group, and create their own policy for them. Right? And probably just figure out one person to be able to access those networks inside of it. You staff in that organization. Yes, that's what I'm trying to explain, right? So simplify troubleshooting and monitoring. So by having separate subnets for different parts of the network, it's easier for you to monitor and troubleshoot any issues that arise. So you can easily monitor and say this problem came from network A. It came from the sales department, right? So So let us tackle what is happening there quickly. Instead of just opening your network to only your business to only one network. It only happens, it takes time for you to practice. By having separate subnets, okay, monitor troubleshoot issues. So network log PSA provides detailed logs for traffic passing through each interface. See that? Obviously, provide detailed logs for all traffic passing through interface. Monitor the bandwidth usage of individual sockets and identify bottlenecks of potential security issues. So, in conclusion, tool software configuration on PSA is highly useful. One, for network segmentation, which is isolating internal network from public facing services. Security, ensuring certain data is protected from external access. Traffic control, managing how traffic flows between two different networks. Routing and high availability, enabling redundancy and failure for critical services. This setup is a fundamental aspect of enterprise network security, and understanding the value is crucial for your cybersecurity student. So you need to understand the reason why we are subnetting, and you also need to understand how to set subnet. So when we now want to be more powerful, we are now going to create two networks, right? You understand me now? We're going to create these two networks. Then we will now configure our firewall to allow communication between these two networks. Let me just give you an overview of the kind of network that we are going to be creating. Let me come here.
So, if we are creating network, create a network, we create different user inside. And that is user that can access all the information. It's possible that can give a feedback to your specific information for the two or three people that cannot communicate that this specific information can communicate with people that can just that.
Of course. Yes, that's a good base now. Good base. So we can set any rule you want. Right? Now look at what we're going to do now. Look at it now. This is the internet. Right? This is your home router. And right now, what is this your home router now? What is this in real life now? What is this now? What I'm telling you in real life? What is this? God bless you, my bro.
What's the what did you say?
Your phone. Because right now you are using the internet from your phone.
Okay, I said Wi-Fi now.
Yeah, you said Wi-Fi, but you were not sure. But that guy was so confident. We're not getting money for you. God bless you, my bro. Your phone right now is acting as a router. That is why I was able to give you a hotspot. And automatically assign an IP for me once I connect to you. But once I connect to you, I assign an IP to me straight away. So it's added as a router. And we're connected to the World Wide Web. You get it now? So this is your phone right now. Now, now look at it now. We now have here, look at this network now. This network, which is the attacking line, is going to be our carry line of. And look at the network, it's 10.0.3.2. Right? It's a different network. This is our visual box. Right now, inside our visual box, we have PSNs, and the PSN is acting like what? Firewall and a router. Right? Don't forget, it's not getting network from your phone. Your normal net, this is if you want to access the internet. Now, we will not design this network. There's a one network here and there's another network. And PSN is standing in between both networks. Your router and your what? Your firewall. You get it now? Now look at this IP here now. This one 10.0.11 is the gateway normal, right? The gateway. Now we will now have a metasploitable server, which will now be like this IP, right? 10.0.1.13. So if you look at this network now, you see that 10.0.1, 10.0.1, 10.0.1, 10.0.1. All of these are what? They are on the same network. Am I making sense? Yes. All of these, which we will call the econ, right, are what on the same network, connected to the PSS and the firewall router. Then we have another network which is what the attack, which we are going to attack from. You got it now? So this is the reason why we are talking about subnetting and setting up two networks. Unlike what we were doing before, we only have one network, everyone must be connected together. But this time we are going to set up and subnet our network so that the attacker will be coming from another network and trying to attack this network, passing through the PSN and the firewall. You can shout hallelujah. Yeah, the question.
If we should make this a
Real
reward,
world.
that those when we say submitting the guys in the enterprise or business, if they submit there, so all of them will not be on the same network.
Yes.
So naturally, that are supposed to be on the
Yes.
I was expecting you to the computer on the equal, which is not
Mm.
on the same level, maybe on the show.
Yes, the reason why we are segmenting this now, because we are in a digital world environment, is because we want this to be able to attack people. I don't know if you get it now. But in real life scenario, you will not be having this attacker who design attack in his network. So you'll be having this one just like what you said now, and another network. That's what I'm saying. So you have a different type of network, but not like an attacker. But we want this attacker to be able to attack this network. So that we understand the concept of cybersecurity. That's how we are designing the network. But in real life situation, what you said is what is observable. Different networks. But that doesn't mean that there will still not be an attacker who is not on the network that you are not seeing that can also penetrate the network. All of lab setup and training, that's why we are doing network.
Okay, so the system is we still go to the same. So,
No, we will not. This is already subnetting. So if you are working in a real life application, this network is also another network inside the network. But you are not going to be setting an attacking network. I don't know if you understand me now. Nobody set up a network and set up an attacking network. So this is acting like two things for us now. We are using it to learn some netting, and we're also using it to learn our attack. You get it now? Because just like when we're doing our calendar, if the networks, the computers are not connected together, you will be able to send virus and attack the rest. Right? So the same thing with this one. And in real life situation, if an attacker wants to attack you, the first thing he can is get access to the I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. If an attacker wants to attack you, the first thing you get access to the network. If you want to attack your organization, if you want to attack your website, the first thing is to gather information about you know your IP. Right? Confiscate your IP, move it to your website and probably tap into SQL and all of that. Do you understand?
yes, I have another question. Okay, regardless of this, now, I still feel that attacker should be able to attack the companies of like you said something, privileges are given to different people of every state. So you said one of the has the high privilege which can around common regular computers. So if the attacker attacks that,
It will be your network.
so it can reach out to
Unlike
the
that.
network.
Unlike that. That's why if some attackers say they want to attack, they start from the top. Right? They start from the top. They want to access decision makers from there enter the network. So you're very correct. So if I am in a subnet now, let's say we have 10 subnets in our network, and I have access to all of them. That means I can send message from each of the network. I have rights, privileges in all of the network. If you attack me on one, you have attacked the network entirely. You can from my network, my system, attack the website. Yes, that's how I do. So that's like we are thinking like in a real world environment now. Yes, and that's how it is. So, like I explained, you see that this server, the metasploitable server, the Windows, the domain controller, right, and the Windows are all on the same network. This is what we're going to be implementing in this training. We're going to install a domain controller like a gateway, an active directory. We're going to install a Windows machine, we are going to operate from the server. Then all controlled by this. We're also going to have another network which an attacker will be using to attack the network. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. So let me just run through the installation of PSS for you. Now, you to install PSS. First and foremost, you have to go to their website. This is the website. You have a chat.
Yes.
Yes, I'm confused. So this is the website. Look at everybody. Once you go to their website, you need to now click here and say download, right? You now click here and say download. So once you click on download, it's going to ask you to purchase it, right? But you're not going to pay, so it's going to show you zero zero, right? So you just add it to the carts. Add to the card. The link is on the top PSS that I sent you. Can you access that link, please? Everybody, click on that link to open it on your browser. This PSS installation. I sent the link. PSS installation. Yes, I shared it on the group now. Did you share it on the
Yes,
group?
yes, I did. It's not PFS.
Please tag it on the group. Tag it on the group so I can see it. Install PSS. PSS no cloud. Yeah. So check it on the group. Have you seen it, everybody? Yes. So click on download PSS Community Edition. So click on it to see it. Now, if you still don't want to download it, I'll give you access to it. Yeah, I want to download, but I have it so I can give it to you guys. I have it. But you need to know how to download it. That's what I'm showing you. If you want to download it, you want to click on that link, it's going to take you to their website, right? It's going to take you to their website, and it's not a free software like that. You have to add it to the cart, then you have to register, right? You have to sign up, then you now log in. Is that okay? When you log in, you will not download it, right?
Sorry, sir, wait. Which you say as
Yes, sir. There's inside. There's just instruction on how
it's
to
instruction
install.
on how to install, like say
It's there. Look at it here.
PFS.
Look at it here. After this thing, you see the link here. Look at
Okay,
it.
okay.
Can you see that, everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at it here.
Yes.
Yeah, so just click on it.
Yes, sir.
Click on it.
2.8.
Yeah. So now let me scroll down and show you something, please. Let me show down. Now look at the version you are downloading. Look at it here. I do that. This is it. This is what you are downloading. So these are the instructions. You have to create an account. Please
On
just
this PDF is 2.7%. On the website is 2.7.
so download it. It's possible that overnight they have upgraded, right? So download 2.8. So look at it here. You need to create an account after you have added. Please, everybody follow me, please.
Yes.
Follow me. Follow me. Let me show you. Follow me. Follow me. Now, let me launch my picture box. Now, you can't install PSS in this class. Remember, it's going to take you more than 3 hours to install. So you can only do it at home. That's what I want to show you how to do it. You can't install it in this class. And even if you start it, they don't even know. Though you can stay behind and install before you go home, right? Now, for you to install PSS number one, you need nothing less than 5 GB of data in your internet.
So it's not like to download.
To install, just go after your because once you are installing, it's connected to the PSS server to install. And it takes nothing less than 3 hours or 2 hours, depending on your internet connection. Right? So that's why they just wash. When configuring PSS, when configuring PSS, look at it now. Now, what you just do normally is to come here, say new, right? You know, give it a name PSS, then you come to the ISO image, order, you come here, and this is it here. So you open it, right? So once you open it, then you just come here, you select BSD, then free BSD that I told you before, then free BSD. So you skip this unattended install, then you just come to hardware. Then on the hardware, this base memory, you need to give it at least 3 to 4 gig. You need to give it at least 3 to 4 gig. Then the CPU, you need to give it like two, minimum of two or three. Like me, I get my own. I think I get my own four because I have 8 CPUs. So you're going to see your CPU that you have there. Then on the hard disk again, you need to give it minimum of 20 gigabytes. Yes. Because in installation, like I told you, it's almost like 5 gigabytes. And we'll be using and installing software inside. So you need to be a minimum of 20 gigabytes. Right? So that's why you see that in this class, we have this laptop. It's very important. So once you do that, once you
That means
do,
after we uninstall virtual box now, should not install it again.
yes, fresh installation. Hmm? Are you following now? Fresh installation. Install it, delete all the previous files. Because if you don't delete all the previous files, you copy shop was sticking to call all those previous files, people to call to the normal IP address and all those things. We don't need all of that. So uninstall it. Don't worry, you still have your calendar to do all your assignments. You still have your calendar to do your assignment. Right? Or you jump on another computer, so you have a computer. One at home, one in the office, in the school. Now, please listen, everybody look up, listen. Now, once you do that step that I showed you, which everything is covered here, everything is covered here. Look at it here, everything is here. Look at it here, everything is here. So you know your Kali, this is your virtual box, right? So just try to follow this tutorial, this particular one. So look at the installation, everything here. So install the ISO file. Look at it. Set this. I showed you just now. Very easy. Then you see the settings here. You see the settings here. Then go to the hard disk tab, expand it, and give it space of 20 gig and click finish. So once you set this, just click finish. Once you click finish, you're going to have something like this, which I have on my virtual box. Look at it here. Now that is not all. Once you finish that, you now need to go to the settings right here, right? So you need to start. This is all of the settings that you have done normally before. Then you need to click on system. On the system, you will see that floppy is enabled. Floppy will be enabled on the system. So you need to remove floppy. And you see that this hard disk is done. So you need to click on it and move it upwards. Right? So I can move this one upwards. Now can you see that? So let me move it down. So you need to make sure that hard disk is on top. Right? That's that. Then you're not going to display on the display setting, just leave it where it is. Then you're not going to storage. On the storage, leave it where it is. Then you're not going to audio, disable audio. Normally, audio will be enabled. It's a server and a router and a firewall. We don't need all of that. Right? So you disable them off. Don't need them. Then you're not going to network. So you don't see my network one, enable network. I use bridge adapter. So on bridge adapter, you will see this one come by default. This is just your Wi-Fi, your normal internet that you're using. Whatever is selected, you leave it. But here you need to come and select it and select para visualize network. Right? Yes, para visualize. Para visualize. You need to set it to para visualize. When you finish that, you don't need to come to what adapter 2. This adapter to give it LAN 0. When you select internal network, it will show one network. You change the name to be LAN 0. Like I said, follow the same name I'm using. We are moving into a kind of larger network. You got to understand naming principles and understand what we are doing. If you mess it up, you are going to mess everything up and you're going to confuse you. Even me confuses me. But if you try to follow single principles and rules, you understand more. Keep doing, you keep understanding. Don't be afraid. It's a bad problem solving. You solve one problem. Just like you don't know we started ethical hacking. It was started with a lot of problems. So now when you set up the LAN 0, you need to also change this to the parameterize, right? Change the parameterize. Then you also again need to set up adapter 3. Please, when you come here, you will not see this enable. You have to enable it before you can configure this. Yes, you have to enable adapter 2, adapter 3. So here will not be what LAN 1. So what we are already doing inside PSS, we are already subnetting. That's what we are doing here right now. You understand it now? We are subnetting IPS. So we are creating LAN 1, which is one network. We are creating LAN 0, which is another network. Then this is adapter 1. Who can tell me what is this now? What network is this? Bridge. It's a bridge network. What kind of network? No? One. The bridge is connected to the internet. It's a one. Right? So this can be NAT, this can be bridge. It's connected to the internet. That's why we're looking at bridge. We understand bridge before. Have a local and have an internet. So this is like a one now to connect. Because once you know the copy address, you must be connected to the internet. So it needs a connection to your internet and you need the configuration of your subnet. Do you understand? It's very simple now. It's very simple. So configure those networks. So once you are done, move to serial port, disable serial port, we don't need it. Move to USB, disable it, right? When you finish, just click OK. Once you finish, you are going to see all the configuration that you did here, right? You will see all the configuration that you did here. These are the all the configuration. So immediately you're done, the next thing for you to do what is to just start the server. Once you start the server, the installation is going to start. Now, the installation is very you want
I don't think I know this.
Okay, my friend, stop.
no, it's not that you have installed it. Once you bring, you only brought up the ISO file. You have not started the installation. It is the installation that I told you I'll take up for 2 or 3 hours. Yes, because it's a firewall.
So this
No, only 3 hours. Only 3 hours. Okay. Only 3 hours. Right? So probably when you have your project, you go for another house. You have 4 networks. Yeah, of course. Because that 4 networks are complicated some of them.
But sir, this is work of mainly the network administration.
No, for you as cyber security analyst. This is a work of a cyber security analyst. You'll be able to explain who an analyst is. A SOC, and if you're a SOC analyst, this is your job. This is your job. SOC analyst. The network administrator, I've already mentioned that all the systems in the network are connected together. You understand? So it's important, okay, there is a subnet called sales. So instead of land zero, you say sales. There's a subnet called engineering. So instead of land one, you say engineering. So you will be able to do those because all those things are connected. So you now bring it inside your firewall. The network administrator might not be able to configure your firewall. But you have connected all the systems, they are speaking together, you have connected them. So the software that they have done is now for you to now bring the software and configure it to your firewall. Sure, okay. All right. So once you power up, what I'm seeing is because I have installed, right? I have installed it. Once you power up, you are not going to see this. You're not going to see this. You are going to see the instructions to start installing. And this is the instruction. Let me show you again. Please look up, because if I leave this for you to follow, you may not be able to do it. Start by to explain. But when you are not doing it, it will not be easy for you. So you will not come here. Look at this. We have done all of this. Yes, I'll show you all of this. We have done all of this. It's just follow the instruction. It's very simple to follow, but it's hard to install. So, so when you get here, we tell you to accept, right? Accept it. Then install PFSense. Just follow it, right? Follow it. It's just okay. It doesn't work with your mouse. It works with your keyboard. So just press enter. Sometimes, and I also advise, sometimes when you're installing and you have your keyboard, your mouse connected and all that, it's short. So remove all your external USBs or information every of your you can stop it. I can tell you that you can stop it. So then look at this. It's just default. Press enter, right? Go to click on the OK. Also default when you come here, press enter. It's also default when you come here, just press enter. Press enter. Just be going. Also default. Just press enter. Then it will now ask you to try your validation or install. This is for people who have the paid license, right? But we are not using paid license. We are using a community enterprise. So the same. Just press. Don't right. Just keep pressing OK. Then strike no result. Press OK. Press OK. Then, are you sure you want to destroy? Yes, say yes. Press it. Everything just, everything just okay. Press okay. Then, this is the place that will take you to our. So you have to monitor the time. You should pay. Number one reason why it's paid because maybe your network. If your network is clear, you know it. So, yes,
Okay, sir, so is this place that take care of
yes, yes. Every other thing I just did, I just like default. This is where the problem is. And sometimes, yeah, you look at it, you don't see anything. It's not something to finish. Even when you see fail, see the patient, you can pick up to the store. Except unless when you don't see fail, you will not tell you to click OK. And maybe when you don't click OK, the system will not do what it's supposed to do. You don't you know it has failed. what you need to do is remove the PSS again, bring it back again, and install again. It's best to be done at night where your network will be fast. Now, this process is going to take you up to 3 hours. Look at it. So once it's done, you will now see this okay. So you will see PSS post installation setup and PSS post installation setup done. Right? Once you see this, you just click OK, it is done. Then it will ask you to reboot. Right? Press OK again and it's going to reboot. This is where the most difficult aspect of it now. Right? That's the difficult aspect of it. Now, you have to follow this instruction because you have to, apart from configuring those adapters, you have to configure the adapter inside the software. You get it now? So when you come here, you will see your VLAN need to be set up first. You see that? You say no. Sometimes it still be moving away. But once you have seen this, just press end. Say no. Because it can still be moving. You know, it's no way that the blade will go. You know, enter your account. So, but as long as you have seen it, just type end. Go. Right? So when you have done that, you just follow this instruction. You see that now? So we will now configure the network adapter. You will be asked to name the interfaces. You get it now? So you will now be asked, it will now show you option like this. Do you want to proceed? You say yes. You must follow this input. So once you proceed, it will not tell you now to start configuring the network interfaces. So you will not see the options here. See that assign interfaces, set interface IP address. Are you see that now? So you will not choose option 2, which was set interface IP address. Right? So once you now come option 2, which is here, then it will now tell you to enter option 2, yes. Then enter the number of the interface you want to configure. So how many number of interface you want to configure? Two interface, no. The one is already set up for you. You want to configure interface line and 0. But it will not show you 0, it will show you OPT1. So those are the two interfaces you want to configure. You give it the number of interfaces you choose. So you put it there. Then it will not ask you, enter the number of interface you need to continue to configure IP address LAN interface via DHCP. So if you via DHCP, you want that the DHCP server automatically. But we want to configure IP. So you say no. Right? So once you say no, then you now have to enter the IP address. You see now, you say enter the new LAN IP address. So when you press enter, then you now, okay, you don't need to press enter. Once you start doing, once you show you this, just enter this IP and the IP here. So now, enter the IP. So enter the IP. So enter the new LAN IP subnet. The subnet is 24, 1 to 32, right? But the subnet is 24, right? So you enter 24 here. So for here, you respond with a no. So configure IP version 6. You say no. You don't want IP version 6. You don't want IP version 6. So you say no. So do you want to enable DHCP server? I say yes, because we want the DHCP server. But we don't want you to give us the IP the first time. But we actually want it to be installed. So yes. Do you want to revert to HTTP configuration? Say no. Right? So once you say no, this shows the IP address of the adapter. If you say no, it's going to now show you this IP address that you configure. It means you have configured one subnet. So you have to follow the process again and configure the second subnet. Right? So select option 2 again to set IP address interface again. So it now take you through the process again. So select 3 for OTP. So you now see this is 3 here. OPT1. So which is number 3 here. It means that because you already configured one is automatic. LAN 1. So you know how to configure what? LAN 2. So once you enter it, you enter the IP address. So this is the IP address. You see that it's different network now. First one is .1, different is .3. So the same thing, you say subnet. Then you select no for JCP6. Select no for IP version 6. You don't need it. Just the same thing we did before. You repeat everything, right? So once you repeat everything, it will not take you back to here again. So this time around, you will not select option 6, which is off system. You need to shut the system down. Right? The reason why we need to shut the system down is because the ISO file that we brought up that time, we need to go and remove it. But not remove it, take you back to that information. Take you back to that information again to go and get access to that item and try to reinstall. So we need to remove it. This is not this is our firewall. So you need to now shut it down. So when you shut it down, you now go to storage. You now select the file. You're going to see this WDI and this file here. So once you see this file, you just come here and you remove it. Okay. So once you remove it, the installation is complete. You cannot access the firewall even if you start the firewall from Kali, right? The firewall can only be accessed from the browser, which is IP address 10.0.1.1, right? So, and you only install the PSN, you don't have a browser yet, but you don't have a system, right? So, before you can now move ahead, install Windows. So, you can move ahead to install Windows 11. Because here now we have installed it, we cannot access it. Because we need a browser. And then when you are using the browser access it, you install a Windows operating system. So that will now lead us to what? Installing what? Windows 11. So, but once you can do this, you can stop, take a bottle of soap, celebrate your wins, post it, and maybe in the class, you can install Windows 11 and access the PDF. So this time, make sure you succeed in installing your PSN firewall around that. Any question? Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I have a
During
question.
the
Yeah.
installation of setting up users, we used plan 0 plan for this use so we stay plan usually do
No, if I use LAN 1 and LAN 2, maybe just say that we have two LANs. The name of the LAN is LAN 0 and LAN 1.
so what happened set should be
Just use LAN 0 and LAN 1. Yes, LAN 0 LAN 1. In that. Because network start from 0. Yes, your question, madam.
Okay, this stuff that we're installing, this next case.
What is tough? We don't use such
So
language in cybersecurity.
we're installing PF sense. This PF sense that we're installing.
Yes,
They're asking for select image type. Which image type of we select?
I've explained that before. Any other question? This thing is easy now. But trust me, follow the instructions. If you make a mistake and you don't follow the instruction, even if you get the instruction right, by the time we want to start working with PSN, we'll be having a lot of problems, and I may not be able to know where a problem is coming from. Right? So follow the instructions strictly. If you are not sure what to do, remove it. If you are removing it, sometimes when you remove it, when you remove PSN and that will give you problem. So sometimes what you always do, remove the PSN, remove the visual box, go to where you have it, delete everything again, install visual box again. Trust me, if you have a faster internet, trust me, you do it on one try. For me, it almost take 5 tries before it works.
This
Yes. We will look into that. Yes.
when you try to download some you have to get prompts like is allow allow sites to monitor or track your IP, your position, and all of that. What's the one thing that
No, no platform access. No platform, website, no access. You not be able to access the web. Something you not really good. So I always get irritated when this is already very bad.
so most times I think they are just disguising because they tell you it's for them to let's say enhance your performance and like
No, it's true. It's true.
advertise things related to
Of
stuff
course,
like
it's
that.
true. It's
But
true.
I feel
It determines it determines what you want to tell guys. If you say something or logo, okay, then which one, right? There's a starting anytime you go starting research advance.
yeah,
You understand? So they use all those things to collect your data to be able to show you information. But why sometimes you must accept some of them, especially if you really need to use that resources. Because if you don't accept, the site may never go through it. You understand? But in terms of tracking, for you guys, they need to track you. As you are now, God don't know you more than you know yourself. God don't know that you are here. You don't know. As long as you have internet on your phone, God don't know that you are here. God don't know you more than you know yourself. So those things are for tracking. So the bad hacker, they still controlling those things. They try to disable it, even your phone. When you go in your phone, your about settings, in your Android phone, you can leave turn off. Who your phone is tracking you. Who your phone is tracking you. And now this is at they are even moving from normal like as we are discussing now. Your phone is recording you. Your phone is using what you are saying. Yes. So that's why sometimes when you say something, maybe you go TikTok now, you're going to see that thing TikTok. Because I go like, you can't come on. Let me stupid man. If you ever TikTok, you'll get a TikTok of the government. That's why we say, God is not a secure place. It has been designed to be like that.
okay, this is even not not saying contribution anyway. Remember, we were trying to destroy installing individual process, not individual installing books and things. It's quite easy. But to go and repair that, the process we have done now, you to extend.
Anyway, we have another class. Thank you guys. God bless you. Yes, let me go and do that in my office. Let me do that in my office.
First thing that we did on our calendar when we were trying to reach that to the forgetting the position that is this part of spoofing of I don't want to go for profit. Like we change currency in our carry, the browser in our carry to access web sheet. And is that not spoofing like part of spoofing ID?
No, not really. Spoofing is when you are trying to change something. Like this man was trying to spoof Mark address. Come back address spoofing. Of course, it's going to work.